Happy Saturday, everyone. Glad that we are here in Satsang. So still basking in the, you know, Philadelphia Satsang, uh, call it a after effect. Um, and as well as I'm still stuck with, uh, you know, a few weeks back or for past few weeks, I've been talking about Lisa Miller's book, The Awakened Brain. Um, I posted a Substack article a couple of days back, which we had talked about here. There were a couple of points in there, so I'll reiterate a couple of things and then we'll get into a few nuances. So, ambition and awakening. Can I be ambitious and still be spiritual? And believe it or not, that was a question that was asked, and it's probably more than a decade ago. And I wish I could have given this book to the person who asked. You know, so the question is like, should, you know, between ambition and spirituality, should one be sacrificed for the other? Um, if I want to build, achieve, create, succeed, provide, lead, grow, does that mean I'm trapped in ego? Um, so, and rightly so in some ways, but I think we have taken it to the next level. We live in a culture that rewards achievement, and we're trained to set goals, measure progress, optimize performance, and keep moving. Just that sometimes in a circle. Um, so, you know, this book, The Awakened Brain, takes a modern psychological and neuroscientific language to something that was known for ages. Um, but, you know, articulation, expression, and language, uh, you know, gives almost, I would say, a new meaning in current culture. You know, we need this discussion. Um, and I mean, it's just been a few weeks. It feels like I'm repeating myself, but I really am fascinated by the title itself. Said that before, uh, the awakened brain, and then the achieving mind is, you know, if you look around yourself, I mean, we have that everywhere, right? And Lisa is talking about why just if we stay in that mode alone, it will, the consequence will be that we will feel incomplete, will feel uh, a longing that's, you know, and we will uh, lead ourselves to anxiety, depression, and other things. So, you know, the achieving mind asks, how do I get what I want? And this is the mode of planning, organizing, striving, competing, measuring, executing, and and you know, and we are evaluating ourselves by one question, which is this helping me get what I want? But if we flip over, um, and this becomes a narrow focus in some ways. So if we flip over to the awakened mind, um, awakened awareness asks a very different question. What is life showing me now? Awakened awareness widens the field. It allows us to see patterns, relationships, possibilities, meanings, and grace that the achieving mind often misses. So if the achieving mind says, I must force the answer, the awakened mind says, let me become quiet enough to receive it. How do I win is one question from the achieving mind. What is the right way would be from the awakened mind. The achieving mind says, I'm making my path. The awakened mind says, perhaps the path is always also revealing itself to me. So Guru Maharaj, basically believed in living in the world, but living in ways that you could, and pardon my pun here, it's like you would compete with people living in monasteries or who have given their life for service, um, to God. And so he said, live in the world uh, as you don't own anything. You don't need to wear different clothes. You don't need to abandon people. You don't need to renounce the world, uh, especially the materialistic aspect of it. And while still working, loving, earning, raising a family, you could still, achieve a higher goal. So, Guru Maharaj, who was a homeopathic doctor, a father, um, you know, so outwardly living a ordinary life, but achieved extraordinary spiritual heights. Um, so his view was that spirituality and at what level you operate is not determined by your outer role. It's your inner state. It's not the robe or the title that you carry, but it's the level of consciousness and awareness that you live with. So awakened awareness is not reserved for monasteries or people in service. It can be lived in a home, a classroom, an office, a marketplace. My father was a chemistry professor, youngest of three brothers, you know, um, uh, you know, three sons, and um, but if you look at the spiritual side of it, he lived with simplicity, humility, discipline, inner connection. He carried forward the living spirit of satsang as he learned through, his growing up, and traveled widely, supported the satsang family across India, guided so many people. It's, directly, indirectly through his quiet leadership. Um, so I could say that, that's awakened mind in action, a mind capable of purpose, connection, peace, higher perception. And call it awakened brain, awakened awareness. Um, so he lived close to the inner light. That's what we will now meditate on. And so I think the beauty of Guru Maharaj's path is that it doesn't produce spirituality as an outer performance. It produces a transformed human being, people who live ordinary lives with extraordinary depth. Another thing that kind of, I plugged it into the article, as Guru Maharaj always emphasized on honest living. So awakening is not merely a state of meditation, it's the way of living. If our work is dishonest, our meditation cannot go very deep. Our speech is manipulative, our prayers cannot remain pure. If our success is built on exploitation, our inner life will be disturbed. So, honest living is not just morality, it is spiritual hygiene. It keeps the mind clean, it keeps the heart lighter. It allows meditation to deepen because we are not constantly carrying the hidden burden that comes by, So, before we meditate, I think one of the most important pieces around this is what Lisa Miller talks about, the quest orientation, where the awakened awareness and achieving awareness kind of interact, or you kind of operate in a mode where you're taking both into account in some way, shape, or form. So in this orientation, achieving awareness helps us ask the question clearly. Awakened awareness helps us receive the answer wisely. One gives direction, the other gives depth. One gives the effort, the other gives meaning. One helps us walk, the other, helps us know where we are being called. So I think if we can lead our lives where we're not just merely, pursuing achievement, but we're connected to the deeper self, to live in an honest way, to live in a spiritual way, live in awakened awareness as well. Um, so, that's the path that Guru Maharaj demonstrated, and his process is very tuned into that. So let's practice that now. Just wanting to let everybody know that I have to leave after meditation, so I'll, Omkar, Arvindji, and others can carry the discussion forward. So, before the top of the hour, I would have to leave. But, so, eyes slightly closed and still and relaxed posture. So this is for inward focus, because peace is inside. You need to find it there. And then think of this transcendental energy source, which is right here, right now, conscious source, which is not far, but just in front of us. And this energy in form of light is entering our heart, distributing throughout our body, and we're becoming one with this light. When mind wanders away, which it will, which is natural, just bring it back to this thought and this thought alone, that this transcendental energy in form of light is right here, right now, and it's entering our heart, enlightening it, then distributing throughout our body. We are becoming the light. We are becoming one with the light. We'll start with music. Music fades away, and then we go deep into silent meditation on this transcendental light, and then we will transition out with music again. Let's start now. Happy Saturday, everyone. I'm glad that we are here in Satsang. I need to leave in a couple of minutes. I'll let others pick up the conversation today. But I'll leave with this one thought that's part of the Awakened Brain book that, Lisa Miller looked at over 5,000 inputs from their survey, and the study revealed that spiritual experiences are visible in the brain in three significant ways: an involuntary reorientation of attention. And, the meditation we did is, we try to focus all our attention to embody an energy that transcends the world. And next one is a sense of love or embrace consistent with intimate attachment or bonding. So that is part of, spiritual experience. And the third one is a sense of self that is both distinct and part of the greater oneness. So the attention network is where we see the world is alive and talking to us. The front to temporal network is where we feel the warm, loving embrace of others, of life, and of life itself. And the parietal lobe is where we know that we matter, belong, and are never alone. So on that note, love, light, and peace be with you. Omkar, Vinji, and others, please continue the discussion. I'll see you all soon. Thank you.
Namaste, bhaiya. Arvind Bhai sir.
Namaskar, everyone, and happy Saturday. Just obliged and pleased to join you all. We are all in this process together, and listening to Puj Sanjiv Bhaiya gives us solace, and practicing this satsang in his presence helps us all connect, hopefully. So if people have some thoughts, questions, please do share. It'll be great to have your reflections, please, if I may request that. Anybody wanting to say something, that'd be great. Jeff or Sangeeta Ji.
Hello, everyone.
Namaskar.
Namaskar. So glad to be here. The book, it addresses something that was always in the back of the mind of any, career person. Like, should we reconcile spirituality, or should we just be spiritual, or should we just be ambitious? And despite being in this, environment for quite some time, it never struck us until I read that article in Substack that, yeah, we can be both. And we have an example before us. And I mean, like Papaji, Sanjiv Bhaiya's father, he was the head of department of chemistry and a scientific person. And yet he combined spirituality with, his career. So having real life examples, it does help, and it does make us feel that it's possible.
Absolutely, and you spelled it out. I must admit, many of us, some of us at least, have been fortunate to be in the presence of Puji Papaji. Well, obviously, I'd learned chemistry from him as well, but seeing the spiritual side of him was absolutely, he was, as Sanjiv Ji has said, the living example of the awakened brain. And if I may read a few lines from what he's written, the awakened brain suggests that spirituality is a real human capacity. So it's not something separate from us. It's not something that we need to go out somewhere else. It's within our capacity. And this meditation, I think, allows us to connect to our own capacity. So one that can support resilience. So it helps us support resilience, wiser choices, and healthier inner life. We are invited to engage not only in our plans, but our capacities to sense, to trust, and to align with the energy. So that's really what I wanted to briefly share. Any other thoughts, please do share. We all learn from each other.
Hi, I wanted to ask a question of the relationship between satsang and Buddha, specifically with Thich Nhat Hanh. What is the, if any, connection? I'm studying both, so that's why I'm asking.
Sure. I missed your name. Apologies. Could you say what your name is?
Oh, I'm sorry. It's Karen.
Hello, Karen. Thank you so much for asking that question. I'll attempt to respond, although I wish Sanjiv Bhaiya was here to give his full and proper response. So if I may humbly suggest that I didn't, the one saint you mentioned who practices, there are various sects of Buddhism, of course, but ultimately all of it emanates from the life and teachings, and if you will, the heart and the energy of Lord Buddha himself. So Buddhism essentially teaches understanding oneself and visualizing the world outside us and everything that happens in the world outside us, including what we observe, the positives, the negatives, the sorrow, the pain, observing it from the light source from within us. And so therefore, although satsang is a way to look at the same aspects as Buddha did, so these are the aspects of looking at energy. Satsang says energy is one, and we should visualize that energy within us. Becoming one with the energy enables us to understand what's within us and what's happening outside us, and to develop resilience and positivity whilst we go through our life. And that's basically what Buddha taught. So there's a lot of commonality in Buddhism and our satsang. It's not a separate religion. It's spirituality we're talking about. So the final common denominator, if you will, between Buddhism and satsang, and in fact, and this Sanjiv Bhaiya has said this himself in the past on many occasions, all religions at their fundamental base share the same aspects, which is the spiritual connection. Later on, there have been, of course, people that have possibly modified the teachings in some way, but the deepest core of every religion is, if you will, selfless love for others and understanding that we are all spiritually connected. So there is commonality, and that's what I got to say about your question. What
Thank
do you
you.
think to that? Sure. What are your
Uh,
thoughts on that?
I know both respect heavily meditation, the practice of it, and how almost essential it is to have some kind of balanced spirituality, living in the moment, as opposed to continually living in the past or the future. I also, and I think this is my main attraction to it, there aren't doctrines, there aren't man-made rules that is present in so many, especially Western religions.
Yeah, I think you, if I may say, you probably hit it on the nail on the head, as if you will. I think exactly. And meditation, satsang, and the core aspects of all these religions, as you rightly said, really allow us to understand the energies within us, because we are part of the whole. We're all connected. So it just helps us. The meditation is simply a tool, if you will. It's a tool to remove the curtains that obscure, or the dust on the diamond or the mirror of our inner selves, and helps us connect to that eternal source. So yeah, we're all fortunate. Karen, you and I and all of us that are here are fortunate to be able to try and walk on that path.
Yes, I was late to the party, but I'm trying.
You're never too late, and no, glad to see you here. And any other thoughts, questions from? Please share. Namaskar, Jeeta ji. I can't hear you. I think you're muted.
Oh, Pranam. Hello, Bhaiya.
Namaskar.
I was wondering, how would one know if one is being ambitious or greedy? Because there's this,
No.
I feel sometimes that there's a very thin line between being materialistic versus being ambitious and still being connected to light.
Yeah, that's a very good question. And I wonder how Sanjiv Bhaiya would answer it. But my simple thought from what he said before is that satsang or meditation or spiritual processes allow us to develop vivek or judgment. So the important thing is, the more we connect, the more we're able to judge the difference on a simple basis between right and wrong. So, and he said this many times, being ambitious is part of this life, As you know, Param Puja Papa, Guru Maharaj was a doctor, right? Param Puja Papaji, chemistry professor. And those who knew them from outside satsang molecular chemistry, whatever, PhD. They would never know his spiritual side, unless you. So you see, he lived a normal life, had 3 children, and Sanjiv Ji is the eldest of the 3. So, and Sanjiv Ji, I knew him as a high quality Indian sheer technology graduate who was academically excellent. But look at him, achieve, but then you follow a path. So doing the process of meditation, as Guru Maharaj taught us, connecting with that transcendental energy with help of a guru who's been there, is very much like ascending, a mountain, with the help of a guide. So when we ascend, we see clearer. On a clear day, rise and look around you. You see above the clouds. You're able to visualize, and you develop a ability to make the right decisions in life. And in fact, from my previous background in neurology, neurobiology clearly states, and there's plenty of research, published research on this, that those who have deep meditation, for example, Buddhist monks were studied, their MRI brain scans were studied. The part of the brain that develops is the prefrontal cortex, which allows us to weigh up right from wrong, which allows us to make the decisions. So in due course, through satsang, hopefully we are gaining that judgment of ascending in our life, gaining in our life, progressing in our life, in our careers, and in the right way. That's all I could say. Maybe Sanjiv Ji, I would be able to expand on it so much better. So apologies if I'm not, thank you. Any other thoughts, questions, please? It's great to be able to discuss and learn from each other again. Yeah. If there are no more questions, all I wanted to say was, like you, I'm just very fortunate to be part of this group. Very fortunate to join Satsang. So we'll see each other again for the next session. Until then, may Guru Maharaj's peace, light, love, and peace be with all of us. I'll sign out with that. Namaskar to everybody.
Namaskar, Bhai Sahab. Namaskar, everyone.
Namaste.
Namaskar, Arvind Ji.
Salam, everybody.
Namaskar.